Alright everyone, welcome back to another video. So today's video, I'm going to be doing a front end makeover, I guess you could call it, on my 2018 Civic. So in 2019, they switched to a blacked out grille, and I kind of like the way that it looks better than this chrome piece here. So I'm going to be replacing the grille with a black version, and then while I've got it off, since I have to take the front bumper off to do that, I'm going to be installing the OEM Honda factory fog light upgrade kit. So you can find relatively inexpensively aftermarket kits all over the place for the 10th gen Civic if you don't want to spend a lot of money. But I've seen real poor fitment in the plastic parts, and the electronics leave something to be desired, and fogging up lenses, and the way it connects to the wiring isn't the actual appropriate way. So I just went ahead and picked up this OEM kit here, and here's our part number, and then it shows you what all it comes with. I'll have links in the description below to where I got it, etc. So I went ahead and printed out an instruction manual. It's like 24 pages long. It is quite involved. It does require also taking the front bumper off, obviously. It comes with your new plastic parts with the fog light holes, and then all the wiring necessary. So it is not just plug and play. There is some wiring that's necessary. Also have to replace our switch. This one has the built-in factory fog light switch. It's not too bad. Just follow the steps. Alright, so while I've got the front bumper off, that's time to do all this work on the front end. Obviously, I'm not going to show you every little step on how to get the front bumper off, but it's actually pretty easy. If you want, you can watch, there's a million videos on YouTube on exactly how to remove the front bumper. Basically, it's the same on all Hondas. There's just a bunch of clips, a few bolts, a few screws in the wheel well, and then the whole thing will come right off. And you have to remove the bumper on these cars to do anything from changing headlights to working on the AC, anything, but it's not too bad. Alright, so once we got the front bumper off, you can see as far as installing the fog light, the new fog lights, everything's here that we need to do it. We're just going to take these screws off, take these old covers off, put the new ones on, screw the new fog lights in place. It comes with the hardware to do that. And then the grill is basically clipped and screwed on as well. So we'll just take out all these stainless steel Phillips head screws and clips, and the grill will pop right off. Then we'll need to take this piece of gray trim, separate it, separate everything out, and put it back together. So the grill that I am using, this is an aftermarket part. It's not Honda, but it had good reviews. Painted a nice like piano gloss black, so it should work pretty good. And it's not really, there's no honeycomb or anything. It's basically exactly like the stock grill, except it's black. Okay, so here's this piece removed. So now what we gotta do is carefully work these retainers that are holding the logo on, because I need to transfer the Honda logo to the new bumper because it didn't come with one. So I got the new grill kind of snapped together. There's going to be one issue with the logo going back on this grill. It will fit, but it doesn't look right. I'll show you why here in a minute. Alright, so now I'll just put all the stainless screws back in that we took out. Then we'll move on. I'll get the fog lights put in, and then we'll start the wiring process. Alright, so to get these out, again, there's 4 screws, and then just some clips. Just use a little screwdriver. Slowly kind of pry it out. Alright, so the new one goes back in. Just pops in, and then 4 screws. Alright, so as always, there'll be links in the description to everything I use, but here's the bulb. Now is definitely the time to do this. Okay, simple. Alright, so the fog lights, actually, they don't go from behind how it looks. Put the fog lights in, they actually go in front, like this. And then we'll put our 4 screws in the back. And then it's the same thing on the other side. And then we'll start the wiring. Alright, so after you plug it in down there, the wire comes up here. It's got these little clips that clip to the bottom of these plastic headlight braces. It'll run across, go under this, on top of this piece of metal here, down, under here. And the same thing on this side, it will clip to the headlight. Then what it says to do is to use a couple of long zip ties to secure it here across the middle of the bumper. Alright, so real quick, again, while we have the bumper off, now is a good time to address an issue on these cars. So be sure to take a look at your AC condenser, which is this piece here on the front of the radiator. So in my case, this was just replaced under warranty by Honda, and the symptoms was my air conditioner started to blow warmer air from the driver's side. The passenger side was cool, and what that indicates is that the system was low on Freon. And these newer Civics use a new type of Freon that is flammable and corrosive. And what it does is it kind of eats the condenser apart from the inside due to a manufacturing defect from the factory. And then these are also susceptible to damage from rocks striking it and putting a hole in these fins. So if that is your problem, they will not cover it under warranty. But in my case, there's a 10-year, 100,000 mile unlimited mileage warranty. But again, like I said, the car is also susceptible to rocks coming through and hitting it. So the main point where that is a problem is down in this lower grill here. So I was able to go to Home Depot and pick up some of this gutter guard. You only need one of them. I wasn't sure, so I grabbed 2, but they're like $1 a piece. What I'm going to do is cut it and secure this in here before I put the bumper back on. All right, so over on this side, we continued with our wiring, as you can see here. And then this will obviously run down and plug into the fog light on this side. Then we need to make a ground connection, which I'll show you here. These are the 2 ground wires for the fog lights. And we're going to just use a body ground and make that connection. And here's what it looks like from the front. Best I can't even tell. Alright, so quick overview of the wiring across the front. we plug in to the factory plug there, come up here, as you can see, this is what's going to go down to our passenger fog light. Runs up along here. Got a couple of zip ties securing it to the frame. Zip tie into the wiring harness. Runs along here. So we get over to this side. It's zip tied to this wiring bundle. This is going to run down to the driver's side fog light. And then this is where you would take this off, and there's a ground bolt up under there. But instead, I just put a brand new self-tapping screw right there into the frame for this little piece of the body here. That way I wouldn't have to take all this stuff off. So I just strayed a little from the instructions just to make it a little bit quicker and easier. And now we should be done with the wiring for the front, so we can go ahead and put the bumper back on, make sure that everything plugs in correctly. All right, so we're ready to go ahead and put it on. It helps is you can just kind of set one, then just set something in here that'll kind of hang the bumper off the front of the car there while you plug everything in. And again, make sure your bulbs are in the correct orientation. That comes the fun part. So next, we're going to do some wiring on the inside of the car. So this is our relay harness. Up under the dash, we should find the other side of that 1-pin brown connector. All right, so here inside the car, we're going to take this panel off here, and it just kind of pulls off. You can see there's some little bit of wiring to undo. And that panel is out of the way. Just put it in my remote start security system. Okay, and then we are going to have to take off this panel here, steering column, to put the new switch in. So how you do that is turn the wheel a little bit. You'll see there's this little clip. So click that. And go the other way, same thing. Okay, there's a screw that we need to remove on both sides, that little Phillips head screw. And that will allow the steering column to kind of come down so we can get this switch out. All right, with both them clips out, just kind of flip the top part up and the bottom part. Get that kind of pry down. There is a screw holding it on down under here. You don't really have to remove that screw though. Just need to pull it down just enough to get this piece out here. All right, so the easiest way to show you how this comes out is to look at this one. It's just held in by these two little clips. See, plastic. And then there's where the wiring plugs in on the back. So we're gonna reach back, we're gonna disconnect the wiring. All right, so you just reach in and press the top and bottom clip in. Then you can wiggle out this harness or this old switch. Same thing, this one goes back in, just snaps in. So just get it lined up like that. You want to hear 2 snaps. And then we'll plug the wiring back in. All right, now we're up under the pedal area here. And if you look, you can see that other side of that brown wire, how it's taped right there. So all I have to do is plug into that. All right, so this next step, key is not to make it more difficult than it is. So once we're plugged in, we can go ahead and plug our relay in to our relay. Then plug that in here, this. And then we have our, so that should be it for the relay. There is a fuse that we're going to have to add. They gave it to us here in the fuse block underneath. I'm not worried about that right this second. So as far as where these connections plug in, they only fit one way. So this one plugs in right here, like that. And this one comes around, plugs in right here, like that. Now this right here, we will just secure. They suggest some different areas to put it. It's not a huge deal. You just want it out of the way. It's just a relay. Okay, so we can just secure it to the wire, and we'll use a zip tie to do that here. All right, now we want the fuse to be in position number 36. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So if we look up here and we count, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll go ahead and stick it in there. Okay, now they give you a sticker that you're actually put it on here to relabel this. But now we're to the point where we can actually try it out, make sure the fog lights work. All right, so with the headlights on, flip our fog light switch. See, they work. That is what we're going for, obviously. All right, so that wraps up the front end makeover on my 2018 Honda Civic. Again, really pleased with how this turned out down here. The honeycomb look. Gutter guard from Home Depot. Turned out real good. That should provide a lot of protection. But it lets enough airflow through, so even if you have a 1.5 turbo, you're not gonna have to worry about blocking the intercooler. So. But again, there'll be links to everything I use in the description, including the fog light bulbs and all that stuff, and the grill that I used. It turned out okay, just a little bit of an issue with the emblem because the way this one mounts, you can see there's this little circle that's exposed. You could resolve that by buying a new emblem that's solid, you know, like kind of like one of the Type R ones, you know, it's red, it's solid, but get maybe a black one in the middle. That's probably what I'll end up doing. It's not really that big of a deal. You know, no one would notice it except me, but kind of picky like that. So turned out good. Everything works. Fits pretty good for an aftermarket grill. These clips right here could hold just a little better, but I like it. So if you have any questions, be sure to leave them in the comments below. Be sure to like the video if it helped. Subscribe for more 10th gen Civic videos. And until next time, we'll see you later.